Hello, ha ha ha. This is kind of loud, eh? Maybe it's not that the music's loud. It's more that my... Oh. Okay. Let's do this. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Azura. Hey, Icing. And I don't know if Maddie's still here, but hello, hello. Welcome to the stream! It's been a while since I polished my swords. I think the last time I did this ASMR stream was probably 3 months ago. Maybe more. It'll grow back. Yeah, so I was cooking food, right? And then I slipped and then and the knife fell down and cut my hand in half, and I had to run down to my local a Walmart, right? And they have these arms on sale, and I had to get a spare arm and just screw it back on. No, I'm just kidding, Azure. There's nothing happened. I'm fine. I just took a while because I was trying to get the browser set up and a couple of other things. Namely this. Look, I can draw on it. Change my... can I make this any bigger? Square brush, maybe? Ooh, no. 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 Pink. What stands out? Red. We'll go with red. Don't be worried. I can take care of myself. I'm a professional stabber. Won't be able to fence? Nah, I'll be able to fence. If my arm's gone, I'll just use my teeth. Like, vagabond. So I want to read a really funny copy pasta. It's really related to this. It's called the Draw Steel Blackguard copy pasta. Yeah, basically like Zorro, right? 40-pound cannon! Oh! Pew! Man, I love this music so much. Celtic music is one of my guilty pastimes. The kind of music that only 1400s boomers will understand. Where is this copy pasta? So the copy pasta is like the story about a really drunk guy. It's on 4chan, I think, not Reddit. 4chan? And oh, here we go. Found it. So, walking home from party late one evening. Let me double check volume real quick. Okay. Yeah, how good is it, Azura? Effing love it. Okay, so this is the copy pasta. I don't think it's a copy pasta. It's apparently a true story. Walking home from party late one evening. Several guys were following me as my drunk ass managed to piss them off by existing. I try to walk faster to no avail, as I'm drunk as shit. Catch me in some random college student neighborhood. Oh shit, my ass is about to be beaten. Still in talking phase. Lights flick on in the house. 3 guys in full musketeer garb walk out. Leader is some blonde guy with a beard, eye patch, and some weird ass accent. What sort of ruffians would be accosting someone outside our residence? Stand and deliver. Guys start yelling at him to F off that I deserve to get my ass beaten. Very well then. Draw steel, you blackguard. And all 3 of them draw rapiers on their belts, and the guys run. I know not why these foul men sought your harm, but come and tell us the tale, stranger. Spend remainder of my evening drinking mulled wine with the lunatics. Bunch of Swedish reenactors live there. Blonde guy is actually missing an eye. Lost it in a machine shop accident. Stagger home completely drunk with a hat. I had no idea people like that existed, or the money to rent, or had the money to rent a house. This is totally something I would do, okay? If I was in it, if some drunk guy started getting beat up by a crowd of people outside my house, I would put on my eye patch, my musketeer hat, a cape, and just challenge him to a duel. Yo, Candace, hey, X-Potato, hello, welcome. When do I stabby someone? Pretty soon. Whenever drunk people come prating outside my house, I'll go stab them. First, I'll put on my best medieval accent with this helmet on. This helmet that I bought from the bargain bin. Dost thou prate, rogue? And then I'll start hitting them. Okay. Let's get working, guys. I'm gonna turn this BGM down a little more. It's kind of distracting, to be honest. I like it, but it's a bit distracting. There we go. Okay. So I had to take the filter off, like the volume thresholds off my mic, so you could hear everything. Currently, I'm gonna be sanding this part, so I've got a bit of rust. Like, can you hear this? Oh, draw steel, you blackguard! I stabbed the mic. Dost thou prate, rogue? Oh. Cut my hand off. I cut my hand off. Gonna need to buy a new one at Walmart tomorrow. But anyway, so I've got like yeah, how nice is this sound, Azira? I was talking to you about this yesterday, 2 nights ago. Just usually this sound makes my teeth hurt. Hey, you know, some people don't like the sound of metal against metal, but I'm glad this doesn't make you cringe. Like, you know, styrofoam. I can't stand styrofoam rubbing against each other. It makes that really high pitched squeak. Yeah, it makes me shiver and I get goosebumps. Okay, where is my rust? Whoops. I've got a bit of rust on the... So, I'm just gonna draw this on the thing, just to make sure I remember. So, blue is rust. Red equals... now cleaning. Where's my rust? I've got a bit of rust on this side at the very top here. I've got some rust all over the pommel, which is this part here. Got some rust here, because that's the part that touches my hand, so it gets the most sweat and salt. Definitely got some here. I don't even need to check. My dagger's been really clean, though. We don't see much action with the dagger. You just parry a lot. That's it, really. People don't grab your dagger, people grab your rapier, though. Because rapiers weren't... the blades weren't sharp, so you can actually grab it with your bare hands or swat it away like a cat batting at a ball of yarn. Probably got a bit down here-ish. Got a little bit on the guard, like about here. Styrofoam makes me die. Yeah, I hate it. I found the follow-up to the copy pasta. What's the follow-up? There's a follow-up to the copy pasta? Oh! Oh, shit! Okay, there is actually... I have the copy pasta's follow-up as well. I'll read it in a sec. So yeah, Azura, the rapier is... It's sharp, but it's... It is sharp, but the... It's sharp, but it's also really light. So because it's light, you don't get much. I just realized there's a blue filter. So I actually use this filter for Roz, because Roz has a blue background, but I just realized I've got to... There we go. Got some rust here, got some rust there. I've got some about here. Probably got some here and here. And got some here. A little bit here and here. And I'm gonna start cleaning probably this first. Okay? Right. I'm using the finest grit sandpaper I can find. I'm gonna move my mic to the side. Move my phone out of the way. Be gone, this spotter! I should have done this earlier, I'm so sorry. Moving my mouse pad out of the bloody way. But I still need a bit of it. Do you wield a rapier with your mouth or you try to hold it in your paws? So that is a state secret, ex-potato. Sometimes I use my mouth. When I'm serious, I use my mouth. When I'm not serious, when I'm just like, when I know I'm gonna win, I just use my paws. Without the sword, just the paws. Alrighty. Where's that bit of rust? Here we go. Can you hear this? I'll put the music down a little more. Okay, here we go. Bruna, hello. Hello. Welcome, welcome. You've come to here. You've come to me just as I started cleaning the sword. So I was explaining to Azura, are rapiers sharp? The answer is yeah, they're sharp, I guess. But because the blade is so light and so flexible, it's really hard to cut with a rapier. So a lot of people, when they cut, it's really difficult to cut with a rapier because you need to hit your target and then you need to drag the blade up or down to make that slicing motion. Otherwise, it doesn't cut and you don't cut. If that makes sense. Yeah, and because the blade is flexible, it's really sturdy as a thrusting, a stabbing tool. If the blade was, you know, rigid like a lot of long swords and broadswords were, basically a little more brittle, because they were meant for cutting, they would shatter if you hit a bone, or if you hit like plate armor. Sometimes even the force stopping the blade would just shatter the blade in half. Yes, my ears like this. And the rest is gone. I'm using the finest grit sandpaper I could buy at the hardware store. If you use a grit that's too thick or too high, it creates small micro scratches in your blade, in your steel, and those scratches are like crevices, and moisture can get into them and you know, increase the rate of rusting. So you want to use sandpaper as fine as possible. That's the sound of effort, I love it. Thanks, ex-potato. You, moisture. Yeah, I do hate moisture. Welcome, Mark. Welcome to the stream. It's funny because I was... This is a blessing to my ear. You should hear what it's like on my side. Gonna go a bit harder. Okay. Most of it is done. Most of the sanding at the top is done. I'm trying to avoid innuendos here because last time I made a lot of innuendos saying like, oh, the tip, moisture on the tip, you know, the tip's flexible, but sometimes it's really hard. It's really stiff but flexible. When you strike, you gotta strike with just the tip. The shaft is The shaft is not enough. PTSD of having to strip paint from wood. I've never had to strip paint before, but I've had to strip I've had to strip clothes. On the topic of shafting people. I'm just joking. No, I've never stripped wood before, but I've stripped things before, other things. Like paint from steel, I guess. Yo! You notice how on this stream I put not suggested for kids? Good thing I did. Just to make sure there aren't any minors in the stream. Polishing a sword is an innuendo. Oh, I made this innuendo by accident once to my friend. He was in the cadets, like one of the cadet groups where you do a march with a saber, a steel saber, ceremonial saber. And he came out of it and he was like, "How was that, Caddis?" I was like, "Oh, it's really good. I really want to touch your sword. Can I just like take out and sheath and touch your sword?" And he just looked at me. my friend next to me just laughed her ass off. And he just looked at me like, shook his head and said no. And I said, "Wait, no, I didn't mean it that way. I legitimately wanted to touch that sword because I'd never touched the sword before at that time." This is an adult sword polishing stream. That's right, we're all grown dogs and peeps here. We have a grown moth in here, we've got a overgrown potato. We got a what's this, blonde-haired vampire who looks like she's 10 but she's actually like thousands of years old. And a blue gemstone. And I don't know what's on marks. Is that a seagull mark? Woof. That is the sound of quality. Okay. Does it make a different sound? On guard! Sword polishing. Turning into a... Ah! So it turns out that word, I don't know how to say it, like Zabla is like a Polish saber. And I wanted to look at some Polish saber fencing today. Yes, boy! I'm an S only when it comes to sword fighting. Yes, hit me more, strike me more. Ah. Hold up. My sword almost pressed the escape button on my keyboard. A shabla, like a shabla. Aha. I see. See, I'm crap at European languages. I'm learning Finnish now though. Do you occasionally hold the smaller sword with your tail to guard your back? So like some kind of hydra? A hydra with its tail whipping things? No, my tail is weak. My tail is weak. I can't hold a sword with my tail. Did you know tail is also an innuendo for shaft and, you know, surprise, surprise. Ah, parakeety. Wait. See, Runa on Sisuka's Nainen. That means Runa is a woman with Sisu. And Sisu is like this Finnish word that means, it's just like there's no translation for it. Sisukas is Sisukas. Sisu. And I guess if I were to translate it, it'd be something like, you've got, hey bro, you've got big balls. It'd be like that. but in a more family-friendly and gender equal kind of way, I guess. That's why his stream went NSFW really fast. I hate these streams where I can't, you know, it's a minefield of innuendo. All I want to do is polish and shine my shaft. But people won't let me do that they won't let it go without a fight. Tail, did you not know? Actually, I didn't know this till I was like 2,000 years old, Azira. Tail is an innuendo for... What's a word I can use? I guess... Candice, can you do this stream without actually saying the word? Oh gee, I don't know, Candice, you tell me. But you know what I mean, Azira. It's an innuendo for that. For that. Okay. Oh, my hands are all black now. I'm gonna move down to cleaning this part now. Moving down to this part now. Don't make me say it, Azura. I'm not gonna say it. You can't bait me. You can't debate me. I'm the Canis God. I'm the Canis God. I can't believe this. This rapier, right? It's a custom made rapier with like all these hand forged parts and stuff. But then, and it costed like, without the shipping, it was $700 for the rapier and $350 for the dagger in US dollars. It's manufactured in the United States. And then I got it shipped here, and it ended up, they ended up billing me like, I don't know, like $1,200 because of the weight, the size, and the insurance. So in Australian dollars, I ended up paying like $1,600 for the set. Basically holding the rapier in one hand and the dagger in the other to deflect oncoming blows. You know what you do with shafts. You deliver blows. Or if you're really bad, you take a lot of blows. If you know what I mean. I'm here to learn. Hey, Glompet. Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm currently still polishing my steel, so the learning will come a bit later. But I'm just casually talking about shafts, tips, blows, and yeah, all that good stuff. But once I'm done polishing and de-rusting and polishing, I'll get into the videos. Phallic knowledge gained. Came for the swords, stayed for the phalluses. Has that sword ever slain anyone? Hey, Sinner, welcome. Has that sword ever slain anyone? If you mean slain by... Yeah, I mean, it's slain quite a few people. Sometimes in some cases I've done some pretty dramatic slayings. There was this time I fenced a really tall fencer. And you know, fencing is sort of like that sport where if you have a height advantage, it's a straight up advantage. It's like basketball, where the taller you are, basically the more advantaged you are in the sport. There's no downsides to being tall in basketball, and the same thing goes to fencing. You only get better being taller in fencing. And well, I fenced this guy who's really damn good, and he's also like a whole head taller than me. Mind you, this guy's like 6'5" or 6'7" or something. It was nuts. But he threw a strike at my head, and I did this crazy move where I where I basically kiss the floor. You bend down with your knees and you kiss the floor. That's how low you get, and you point the sword up. And they basically run chest first into your blade. It only works because he's so tall and I'm so short. Yeah, great times, great times. That was like 1 in 100. 1 win in 100 matches. I got stomped in the other 99. I'm here for the sword cleaning ASMR chill. I'm glad you came, Glompet. I haven't seen you. I haven't gotten the chance to speak to you like this yet. Okay, the middle part of my shaft is clean, derusted, shaved of rust, not you know, hair or fur or anything crazy. It's just a bare sword, shining and bathing in the light. Yeah, so if you're tall in fencing, it's hard to fence a taller person because you have to walk into their strike zone before you can make your strike, right? So basically, to even get a chance at striking your opponent, you've got to be in danger first. And sometimes fencing is European martial arts is all about distance control and footwork. I'd say like 80% of it is footwork. If you're really slow, if you're really weak with your arms, but you're excellent at your footwork and positioning, you can basically win most sparring bouts and tournaments. A lot of it has to do with distance control and timing, really, and just knowing the technique to counter another technique. It's like super fast rock, paper, scissors, I'd say. Get your mind out of the gutter. My mind's not in the gutter, Icing. Your mind's in the gutter. My mind is gallant and pure and noble, like this shiny shaft that reflects my reflection in the light. There's nothing impure about my thoughts. Huh. I don't get to watch YouTube much, but I made my way here for the sake of Keanu. You know what, Glompet? If I was in John Wick, it would be me protecting Keanu, not the other way around. It'd be John Wick, but no, instead of John Wick, it's Canis Wick. Okay, I think my blade is pretty clean now. This is too tall for me to hold now. I'm doing this sitting down in my seat, near my keyboard. Steel dust floating everywhere. Oh god. I'm gonna move my mic a bit to the side, because I don't want steel dust floating onto my carpet. I've got a carpet as white as my fur. That can't get dirty. Did you like the third movie where they had a fight with the fight scene with the dogs? I loved that scene, Glompet. That was my second favorite scene, I think. It's one where he goes to the woman. I forgot her name. Goes to the woman for help, and she just has this pack of super trained dogs. Just even training dogs to be like that on a movie set is amazing. So much respect. I'm hardly even that well trained myself. I think my sandpaper is basically. I think my sandpaper is dead. Oh, I'll try and move my mouse. Now cleaning here. I wish I was her, dude. I mean, you could be. Do you like guns? Do you like shooting? It's gonna make me weird in a few more minutes. Take care. Thanks for coming along, X-Potato. Enjoy your day, night. Bye-bye. Yeah, so these are the guard, right? It's pretty round. Some people call it a ball guard. So the joke continues here. You've got the shaft coming out from between the two ball guards, and these balls are getting rusty. I don't know what exactly caused it to rust. All I know is that I must clean the rust on the balls. I don't know how to use a gun, but if I were to learn a skill, I'd prefer knives. Oh, knives are really cool, right? There's a lot of different knives you can use. Like, I used to throw knives. I don't know if I should be saying this on stream because throwing knives are like just straight up illegal where I live. I just went on Google and I found a shop and they sold it to me, okay? There was nothing more, nothing less. I didn't go to some dark alley and talk to some shady guy with a huge black coat. No. Wasn't like that at all. Just got delivered to me. Free delivery, you know? It's good stuff. Throwing knives is cool. The opening scene of John Wick 3 was throwing knives, I believe. Loved it. Throwing knives are illegal, but throwing knives isn't illegal. Yeah, that's weird, eh? Knife throwing doggo. No, the throwing knives I have. Well, in the medieval era, there were throwing knives. They're shaped differently though. So the perfect throwing knife is a knife that has its balance point right at the midpoint of the whole knife itself. If that makes sense. Like if the knife is 10 inches long, the midway balance point should be at the 5-inch mark in the middle. Yeah. So it can turn fluidly in midair when you throw it. Yeah, throwing knives was fun. The hard part is getting, putting the exact amount of force between every throw, so you spin it the right number of times for the tip to land in the wood. Yeah, everything I talk about just becomes an innuendo. Now it's about tips going into wood. Tell me you can legally buy a cookery. Cookeries? I don't know, Mark. Cookeries might be illegal if you have a valid reason for it. Like, I think you can get machetes here, just in general, because it's for camping. You can use it for camping, right? But I don't know about cookeries. Can you use it to chop bushes and stuff? If you can, maybe. Oh. Okay, the sandpaper is gone. I'm gonna move on to the pommel now. The third bowl. Oh, I do like this. I do like how it's looking. It's really sharp right now. I'm gonna unscrew the pommel. So I'm sure you guys know about the ending people rightly meme. If not, I'll go through it on the videos. So basically, I just unscrewed the pommel on my at the bottom of my sword. It's pretty heavy. They say you can unscrew the pommel, chuck it at your opponent to stun them, and then just run up and crush them. But you look at the pommel and you think, well, that's not gonna do anything. But hey, I didn't know this, and probably not many people out there know this either. A pommel weighs a lot. This pommel alone is probably 800 grams. For those in the US, I think that's like 1.5 pounds. About 1.5 pounds. Just the pommel. Yeah, just the pommel. The part that I'm sanding right now. Hey, Navrithis, welcome. Talking about sad stuff to do, but I hope you have a fun stream. Thanks, thank you, and thanks for dropping your dog pic. Your dog is amazing. But yeah, I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Come by sometime and say hi again. Unscrew the pommel and end your foe rightly. Yeah. Actually, I want to see how long it'll take me to unscrew the pommel. Let me finish polishing. Let me finish polishing the knob first, guys. shine this knob. Knob, 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 knob. Bum, bum, bum. Polish my knob, shining my knob. Knob all day. I wake up in the morning feeling like polishing knob. Christ. Sorry, icing. I will keep. Ooh. Wait, the knob's almost shined. We're almost there, guys. It's easier when you unscrewed the pommel. Not gonna lie, I was scared of cannons for a while, but now I'm not. Glompe, why would you be scared of me? There's nothing to be scared about. Until my human form comes out. Then you can go back to being scared. Were you scared of me just because of that one time in Overwatch where I threw hooks left and right and people were like, this guy is sus. You wrecked me in Overwatch. You know, I feel bad. Arata, the one who was really upset, like we're friends, we're like pretty chummy. I felt really bad during the match because you know I was playing Roadhog and I deliberately went for him. Not because I hate him, not because I know him, but because he was the Mercy. You don't let the Mercy live in Overwatch. You just gotta kill the Mercy first because she's essentially 2 lives, right? She's carrying 2 lives. So you want to kill the Mercy first, and I kept going for him. And yeah, I can understand why it'd get a bit frustrating when you keep getting hooked left and right by someone who's literally just out there to get you. Okay, my pommel is off. I'm gonna screw it back on. It's pretty finicky. Okay, I got it. All right, Mark, let's see how long it takes me to unscrew this pommel. You ready? 3, 2, 1. On guard! I got it! So unscrewing the pommel, that took me what? 4 seconds? 4 seconds? I'll drop by again. Here's my pleasure. I miss the good boy. Oh, he'll always be in our heart. Anyway, have a great day or night. Never. See you again sometime. That is a short thread. It is not so long. Everything on this rapier is made... it's made according to historical specs. So you can... It's not... A real rapier wouldn't have been shorter, you know, in threading. Sorry for the layouts, I'm too stupid for you. Nah, don't worry, never. It's fine, it's fine. You know, you come here to have a good time. No pressure, no pressure. We just chill here. Other swords I know have longer threads. Yes, yes. So rapiers are... Because rapiers are single-handed swords, the pommel threading is not so long. It doesn't need to be. Because your handle is not that long, right? It's not going to come off as easily. For a long sword, the pommel is quite long. You'll be unscrewing for like twice the time, I'd say. Like 8 seconds maybe? At full speed, 8 seconds? Yeah. And that End Him Rightly meme is... I think the End Him Rightly meme is like, it's done with a longsword. Yeah. The really neat thing about these historical manuscripts is that the ones that didn't work, the historical manuals and manuscripts that had techniques that were bogus and didn't work, or just, you know, they literally died in time, because if you were the only one who had this secret technique and you died using it because it was shit, obviously you're not gonna live to pass on the technique, right? So it's sort of like natural selection and survival of the fittest, but with martial arts techniques. Ask your opponent for a short break. Excuse me, Swire. Mind if I put my helmet down for a quick sec? Unscrew. I'm polishing the tip of my dagger now, guys. Whoops. Poked my mic. Just gonna... Whoops. Pommel end goes into table. How did this part of my dagger get so rusty? Huh. So recently I've been going back to dog training school, which means I have like some classes on some days. And the sad part is that I have one class that overlaps with my one and only rapier fencing class on a Tuesday. So that means until this semester ends, which is in like 6 weeks, I think, I can't go to my local club to do rapier fencing. Honestly, I'm kind of miffed about that. I was gonna say I'm kind of cut about that. Excuse the pun. I'm kind of cut about that, but hey, that's life, you know. It happens. It happens. I'll make up for it by just stabbing the air. Someone in the past had the most awesome sword techniques out of there, but slipped and died passing it on. You know, yeah, Icing. Imagine Zoro's 3-blade, 1-in-mouth technique, and there was this one dude in the battlefield using it, but then a rock, I don't know, a random rock thrown by a peasant knocked him out and he died. So sad. Don't poke us with your dagger, Kenneth. Some cultures that's considered rude. Yeah, but you know what? I'm an uncultured doggo. So whatever I do is by my own rules. Is there a culture where poking someone with a dagger isn't rude? Huh. I'll have to ask my my good friend Alfie, the Viking VTuber. Do you guys know Alfie? Alfhilde Olden's daughter. Yeah, she's a really cool Viking VTuber who has a pet fox around her neck. And she does history reenactments and history streams as well, sometimes, learning history, mostly about Vikings and other things. We had some pretty good chats about just history and Vikings and whatnot. I'm taking the pommel off the dagger now. How long is this threading? Okay, I got it. Ooh. So all these swords, they're made of 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can count, guys, I can count. So they're made of 4 parts. We've got the pommel, you unscrew the pommel, and then there's a tang, which is the butt of the blade. You slide the handle on the top, on the tang, over the tang. And then there's the guard, which is the T-shaped hilt that stops other blades from cutting your hands off when it slides down your shaft. It always comes down to this, doesn't it? Somewhere daggers the front of the belt, so when you hug it may be unavoidable. Did you know that in the medieval ages, a sword, well, a lot of contrary to popular belief, quite a few towns disallowed the carrying of weapons in the town. So people have this stereotyped idea where, like, in the medieval ages, you know, everything was dirty, people threw shit out of the window, literally threw shit out of the window, you know, the floors were filthy and filled with trash. Well, and I guess it's true to an extent, but it was actually more sanitary than most people thought. And also, contrary to Hollywood belief, you couldn't just walk around town. It'd be like walking around town nowadays with a gun on your, gun in your holster in your belt. Just doesn't fly, you know? And back then it didn't fly either. But at some point, I think in the Renaissance, sometime in the 1600s, I think it became fashionable to wear swords again. That was when the rapier started where people started making rapiers, because people started to realize, oh, people don't wear armor anymore. We don't need these massive two-handed swords anymore. So thrusting, stabbing with long, thin, sharp swords became the meta in the 1600s. And people ended up wearing these rapiers around their belts. It was like, you know, the mobile phone of the 1600s. And it was also a fashion thing. You wore it just like how you'd wear your tie. You didn't bring your sword out. Now, my instructor mentioned this, but like, because so many people brought their swords out, you know, if you brought your sword out, you weren't necessarily looking for a fight. But if you saw someone bring a buckler with them, which is like a small round shield, they were looking for a fight. You never brought a buckler around unless you were literally looking to fight someone. So here's a small tip of advice for you time travelers out there. You see a guy with a buckler, avoid him. You see a guy with a sword, he's okay. He is friend. Coconut salesman, I could legally have a machete on me. Oh yeah, you could chop the coconuts in half. What, coconuts as in like people's heads? That's what I'm used to. Medieval doggle cometh hither. Okay. I reckon... I'm gonna screw the pommel back on. I reckon we are good to polish. I've got to cover the blade and the steel parts in lube. Now we're putting lube on the shaft, guys, and then lube on the tip. Make sure more lube is always better, guys. More lube is better. Repeat after me. More lube is better. Okay. The more oil you have around your shaft, the slower it'll rust. Dangerous of men are those who wield two bucklers, one in each hand. They're definitely looking for fight. Yeah, people talk about dual wielding swords, but has anyone ever tried dual wielding shields? I can imagine that. Like, you cannot beat a dual wielding buckler man simply because you can never hit him. And if you did, with one blade, he would just smash you with the other spare buckler. Oh god, my hands are so rusty. Literally. Ahoy! Okay, I think this is good to go. I'm gonna give it a quick polish with this old piece of underwear. So I just keep like these old pieces of undergarments as like spare cloth to wipe engine oil and stuff with. Or right now, in my case, the swords. And this is all coming full circle, because you know what goes over a tip and a shaft? A nice piece of old underwear. I've never heard this slow cleaning yourself. But hey, Virus, hey, welcome. Did you hear that? I hope you didn't hear me talk about underwear over shaft and tips. Lube up that shaft, baby. Okay. Virus, unfortunately, I'm just about finished polishing. Sorry, not polishing. Sanding. I'm gonna start polishing the sword and the blade now. The tip. Eee. So much black rust and dust. Oh, you were here. I didn't know you were here. Well, welcome. Sorry for the late welcome. Just gonna grab some oil. Get that underwear off the shaft, strip it, and put on these gloves. I'm using bike oil for my blade, for my tip. Bike oil is a really good lube. Normally I'd say, you know, use the right lube for the right purpose, but in this case, any lube works. if you've got a hot steely shaft like this, oh. Guys, I meant to hit the blade, but I hit my table, and I think there's a dent on my table. Bloody hell. Oh shit. A lot of people have a new image of Candace off the stream. You know what, Icing? A similar thing happened after my last sword cleaning ASMR. I think it was like filled with tip and shaft jokes. Just couldn't believe it. So much so, I made a clip on it. There was just so much crap taken out of context that it was brilliant. Okay. Wait. Okay, come on, underwear, do your thing. Do your thing, baby. Roz, I barely have... God damn it, Roz, you came in here just to roast me and then you're gonna piss off? Is that how it is? Alright, the shaft is fully lubed. Gotta be really careful not to spill the lube. If you drop lube over the floor, it's impossible to clean off. Okay. Hells yeah. Come on, underwear, do your thing. Absolutely no context. Come on, underwear, do your thing. Do your thing, baby. I'm more worried about the lube spilling, you know? It's good to have more lube than you need. But this is one of the days where I'm afraid of having too much lube. Cause then, look, I'm lubing up the bowl guard, right? So like when you put too much lube on the bowls, it kinda drips everywhere and makes a mess. But you don't necessarily want that much lube on the bowls anyway, because it's not, there's not much moisture going around the bowls. The bowl guard, I mean. Been camping since the start, was doing my own stuff, listen to your innuendos. God damn it. God damn it. I hate you too, Roz. Hate you too. Mwah, 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 mwah. Lube. Lube, you are my friend. I put a little bit more on for good measure. Okay. Gotta lube up the pommel as well, the third bowl. Aight. I think we good. Whoops. Alright. I think my rapier is good to go. My steel has been shined. My blade has been polished. My tip has been sharpened. Now for doing the dagger right now. Hey, Maddie. Hey. Good evening. It's pretty late. Are you in bed ready to sleep again? I was just talking about putting lube on the shaft. This is the worst, like, for someone who's come in here with absolutely no context and be told like, oh, I'm just putting lube on my shaft. How about you? Gives me Candace God the worst image, public image out there. I feel like you'd really be into the SCA. I've tried SCA. I've looked at, and I have I have quite a few friends who do SCA. In my club, there are SCA fences as well. So those who don't know, SCA is like, it's sort of like a type of fencing where anything goes. And the aim is just to hit a strike as if your opponent had armor. So you have to hit them pretty hard. Usually the weapons are made of not steel, but like bamboo, like wrapped up bamboo. And you can basically just make up any technique and make up any move, and as long as you land a hit, it's all good. And it has to be, you have to land a hit with a considerable amount of force. And SEA is a very brawly kind of, I'd say it's like the mixed martial arts of medieval fencing. I'm more into the historical accuracy and the whole history part of European fencing, so I didn't really find that much appeal in SCA. I've tried I've tried Olympic fencing, I've tried Kendo, I've tried LARP. Oh yeah, those were dark days. Oh. What a great first experience. Is your model frozen? Yeah, my model's frozen because I've moved my mic to the side so I don't get steel dust all over my keyboard. Yeah, rattan virus. Rattan, that's the word. Yeah, it's a woody... icing. It is a woody shaft, yes. We're talking about woody shafts again. It's not you. It's the one where the dude obviously pummels the crap out of the other dude using a shield. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Mark. There's two pummel the absolute shit out of the other dudes using a shield that I can think of. One is Battle of the Nations, where you use wooden and steel weapons, but you're fully armored in steel. The ones where the Russians always go ham and smash the living daylights out of everyone. There's that. And there's also SCA. I'm hella LARP nerd. You are? Holy shit. Okay. So I've heard that in LARP, I'm told by my instructor who has participated in a lot of LARP tournaments and role plays. Apparently, people in LARP, they don't take the time to, or in Australia anyway, they don't take the time to learn the historical techniques. So when they actually start fighting, they're basically like armed peasants, is how he describes it. He says it in a nice way. He's not using peasant as a derogative. He's saying like, they're basically people who don't use the right techniques, or they use these really weird techniques that would realistically get them killed instantly. And so when you get a skilled fencer into LARP, usually you can see and feel the difference. Traumatic flashbacks. Those Germans who use the blades. Oh yeah. No. There is a kind of dueling, competitive dueling, where you basically count the number of times you've landed hits with a live blade. Yeah, that's more like MMA. You just basically have a judge that looks at how many hits you land, and you just count them, and you judge like, oh, was that hard enough to count? Was it not hard enough? Yeah, all right, time to sleep. Just gonna good. Thanks for coming by, Maddie. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a good night. Bye-bye. Foam and real weapons, they'll go hand in hand. Yeah! Foam, one of the reasons why I didn't like foam was because it was too bouncy. When you tried to block a hit or parry a hit, their other sword would bounce off and fly around and hit you from some other weird angle. And I absolutely hated that, because it basically meant if you had to defend, you'd be defending till they backed off, or if you back off. And I didn't like that. But with steel, if you block, it slides off the blade. Like you can hear that. It slides off the blade instead of bouncing away most of the time. So you get a chance to counterattack, you get a chance to redirect strikes, which is why I really like historical fencing over, say, like Olympic fencing and LARP and SCA, because bamboo is pretty bouncy. I'm gonna quickly wash my hands, then I'll be back. Gonna put this on the thing. Now, wait. BRB. shaft. Bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Oh, did you guys hear me humming? Hope not. I'm gonna put the pop filter back on. Nothing quite like sheathing steel. Okay. I made a polearm since I have a metal cord weapon. Oh shit! I wanted to main a polearm when I first started getting into all this. I wanted to main a halberd, so I bought a halberd, a LARP halberd head. It was really expensive, and it didn't include the handle. Obviously, you just made the handle yourself. Halberds, polearms. I have no idea how to use halberds and polearms. I wanna, but I also feel like nobody would be my sparring partner because, you know. There we go. I feel like nobody would be my sparring partner because there's nobody out there really fences with polearms. Okay. Let's see if I can get the browser up. Boop. Basics of footwork. Are we finally getting to the learning, Canis? Why, yes, we are, little Timmy. HEMA footwork. I'd spar with you. I feel like I'd get smashed by you, virus. Unless it was rapier dagger fencing, then I might stand a chance. So there was this copy pasta I was talking about earlier, how the drunk guy wanders into a neighborhood of Swedish reenactors, and he gets jumped by drunk dudes, and the Swedish reenactor comes out with a rapier, like a musketeer, and an eye patch. And so there's a sequel to this. Goes like this. Holy shit, this is still being posted. I figure I owe TG, which is the name of the subcategory on 4chan. I figure I owe TG a bit of an update on these guys. Their leader, he of one eye and little common sense, nearly had his visa revoked for these kinds of shenanigans. One too many arrests meant that his right to stay in the country was contested, and he had to go to court to defend himself and prevent his visa from being revoked. Imagine going from defending the average peasant from the vagabond, the rogues of the streets, to having to defend yourself in court to not be deported from the country. I would be shitting myself as this guy. Draw steel, you blackguard. I was his ride to court, and had to testify to the board that he shouldn't be deported for the lack of common sense or social normality. His defense, a written speech about 3 pages long about the rights of man, the education he has received here, and the opportunities for a one-eyed mechanist. The spirit of his crimes are all in the defense of the people who would otherwise suffer. For other witnesses, he had some of the random people he had helped out, including one memorable point where a woman, nearly on the verge of tears, pointed out how he had taken on a guy threatening to rape her and carrying a knife by whipping out a fencing saber, disarming him and mocking him in his thick Swedish accent so the girl could call the cops. Something like a dozen people all showed up explaining how this dude, despite his eccentricities, made the country better. He was not deported and lives here to this very day, stalking the streets in his musketeer garb, rescuing drunks and dispensing his own brand of justice. This is wonderful. I love this guy. What? So he whipped out a fencing saber, disarmed a dude with a knife, and mocked him in a thick Swedish accent. That's great. That's so good. That's amazing. This guy's a modern day Robin Hood. Not very good with blades. You would def win. With spear and poles, maybe I had an upper hand. Yeah, spear and pole arms. That shit is hard. I do not want to touch spear and pole arms with a 5-foot pole, because I would never get there. I'd just die instantly. Haha. Okay, so let's just quickly talk about how to sword fight. Yay! Whoa, 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 whoa. I think this is the part that many of you came here for. So let me just delete everything on this. Bum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum. Paint MS, yay! Hello. God bless Scandinavia. He'll fight his way out of court. I'm sure he could. I'm sure he fought it. He fought his way out of court like fine. So I was saying earlier how footwork in sword fighting is everything. Let's just have a quick gander at how people do the fancy steps.
And your right foot is going to be back. It's going to look like this. This is what it looks like from the side. Notice how my back foot is at this nice angle, and I can push off from it. And my left foot is pointed at this angle, so I can push back. And the back foot is really nice and secure. My knees are bent, my weight is distributed, and I'm ready to move in just about any direction. So the gathering step is going to look like this. And this step is really good for being able to either close distance or create distance. Now what happens is your front foot is going to go forward and your back foot is going to catch up. Try not to bring your feet all the way together like this. Not only is that really not very stable, it's a very easy way to get pushed over. So this is what it looks like from the front. And you can
pause it there. So this is how default stance in fencing. If you're fencing with any kind of blade, any kind of weapon, I'm not sure how it is for polearms, it's probably quite similar, but if you're fencing with any kind of blade, you're gonna have this stance. And I'm just gonna draw some random bearings and axes just for a bit of reference. This is for rapier fencing. Rapier fencing. Roll, 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 roll. This is the stance you'd have in rapier fencing, and some of the key features are your back is actually supposed to be upright. So I'm gonna fix this up real quick. Draw steel blackguard. Kind of have your arm like that, and then here's the sword, right? Here's the balls, here's the handle, and here is the shaft. This drawing is so cursed. Holy shit. The 3 points, for martial arts. I think modern martial arts is a bit different. So historical European martial arts, the old martial arts from the 1200s and upwards, it was all it was a bit messy in how it evolved, but I'm pretty sure the way that they fenced back then is probably among the most efficient and effective ways to fight, really. And you'll find that a lot of stances, a lot of movements, a lot of movement philosophies in historical European fencing is actually found in modern martial arts as well. Karate, taekwondo, Muay Thai, all these martial arts incorporate like the core elements that are found in historical European martial arts. And different martial arts have different types of stance. Yeah, of course all martial arts have their own variations and stances. It's all made to accommodate like the special techniques they have unique to every martial art. But here are some features of this rapier fencing stance. So here we have the dude or dudette, whichever you like. Tuck your butt in. Tuck your butt in. Make sure you're wearing underwear. There's going to be a 90 degrees here between ideally 90 degrees between your foot. Space between the torso to the elbow is going to be about a fist's width. Let's just say about 15 cm. That's kind of hard to see. 15 cm, or how much is 15 cm? Like 6 inches, I guess. Yeah. Sword to elbow, straight. Yeah. So when you point a sword, don't flop it. Don't do something like this. If I just draw an example, so here's your wrist, here's your hand, here's your thumb, and this is how you might hold a sword. This is actually how you hold a rapier. So you have your finger like this. Wait. This is pretty hard to draw. This is your index finger. This is the handle. Guard. Blade. Oh my god. No, this is too hard to draw. I'll just do it. I'll just go back to what I was talking about before. So you don't want to hold your sword like this. Okay? Never hold a blade or sword like this. This kink will destroy your wrists. When you parry or when you throw a strike with your wrists bent like this, it will, if your opponent blocks it, or if you miss and hit like a wall or something, you'll probably break your wrists over time. So don't do this. Have your wrists straight, you know, like this. Try to have it as straight as possible with the sword. Here's the guard. Here's the handle. And here is the sword. Like this. See how this is straight with the wrist and your arm is straight with the sword? This is what you want to do. And doing this also ensures that people can't deflect your blade sideways, that you have a lot of rigidity. It's just asking for a bad time. You'd be surprised at how people hold their swords, you know, intuitively, and they just hold it like a hammer. It's not good. So that's rapier fencing. Actually, I'll leave this there. Let's look at some really cool fencing things. Saber fencing. No, rapier dagger fencing. What have we got? Ooh. Ooh. So I always like going to this video. Wait, let me move the music. Move the music out of the way. Turn the volume up. All right, so check this video out. Bottom rigidity, is your bottom firm? Your bottom has to always be firm.
Smith from Blood and Iron Martial Arts. We're here today to talk to you about...
So fences always have really toned glutes. Because their butt always has to be like tucked in, and a lot of movement comes from the butt. And you know, you probably, if you take the underwear off a fencer, of a European fencer, they probably have the most chiseled Roman statue-like shapely butts that you'll ever see. Can I confirm? Maybe. Anyway, that's for another story. So this is a really short video on how to use a rapier and dagger.
There are two kinds of daggers that are the most popular. First one is the ring dagger. Historically speaking...
Cool. So this is the kind of dagger I use, the ring dagger, except mine has a shell hilt. What is going on? This is a quick video on how to use a rapier and dagger. You use your rapier in your primary hand, and you use a dagger in your offhand. And what you do is this. So let's say there's somebody trying to stab you, and then...
Is there one?
Check this out.
Dagger forward. Same time.
Draw steel, blackguard.
Bring your rapier forward.
Boom. How cool is that, guys?
Right in their
You do this enough and you get the most chiseled butt in the universe, I sing.
chest.
Hiya! Hiya! Pew! So rapier and dagger is all about deflecting or maneuvering your opponent's sword out of the way so you can hit them. Okay? This is one of 4 different defensive stances we have. I've got like a couple more. Got one where you have your dagger to the... So if I draw a hand here, you know, this is a first person view. Got one where you can hold a dagger here. And then, you know, the four positions are like, this is called fourth position, and we've got a third position, we've got a second position, and we've got a first position. So there's 3 places where you can hold a dagger. And this is the other guy with a sword that wants to kill you. I love these drawings. They're bloody great. Yeah. So hold your sword in one of these 4 positions, and every position has an opening, and every position guards another opening. So position 4 would guard your opening, will guard your left opening but open your right. Position 2 would guard your right but open your left. Position 3 opens both sides, but it's more like a tactical maneuver. Position 1 is to go over their guard. It's 4 guards you can assume. Choose one, hold your sword that way, and it becomes rock, paper, scissors after that. If they strike at your opening, you're supposed to cover it and hit back. Or if they strike into your guard, you can just strike back and it'll block an attack at the same time. And this is basically what rapier dagger comes down to. It comes down to blocking and attacking at the same time. And it happens so fast, like you can't even see what's going on. Like, let's look at what the tournaments look like. Dagger versus buckler. Fancy. Yeah, we do have a buckler. We have a dagger buckler sort of sparring style, I guess. That one's a bit more tricky because you've got to get in really close, and a lot of it, when you get in that close together with a dagger and a buckler, a lot of the times, it turns into a wrestling fight. You end up trying to disarm the other person with, some sort of grappling technique, and it gets a bit messy. It's not as fun to watch, I'd say, as it is like in your mind.
Sometimes the Russians get
a
bad rap for ugly fencing in the finals, but this is
he goes for a strike.
Fencing, I think. Nice, tight,
cool.
Clean, controlled, precise. Beautiful thrust.
Wow.
By Koltev.
I didn't even see what happened there. Okay, so we can see here that they're assuming this guy has like the second guard, so that's to his right, and he's opening his high sort of his dagger's side for an attack. He's sort of baiting the other guy to throw a strike, and he does land the strike. So here we see his opponent does fall for the bait, attacks the high dagger area. But he's ready for it, so he just parries it with his dagger and he strikes the head at the same time. And the other guy wasn't even ready for it. Yeah. Oh, but look at this. The guy actually takes a hit, but in red. If I like kind of slow this down a bit. Yeah, there we go. He celebrated too early. So when you fence, you throw in your hits and then you retreat with the guard still up. You don't throw your arms up and be like, yeah, I'm done. You still have to guard yourself, because there's a small period of time when you stab someone that they're still alive. They're not going to die instantly when you stab them, even through the heart. Like there's like a couple of seconds where they can still move, and sometimes with adrenaline they do actually move. So you need to guard yourself when you go in for the strike. You strike them and you walk back in guard position. I think this guy just got a bit sloppy. But this happens so fast. They're really good fences though. They're really good fences. Just that he probably didn't expect that. And I don't think the point would have been awarded to red. Blue would have still gotten that.
The attack here.
He definitely has that.
I love the helmet.
It seems like he prefers to be a reactive fencer, but
it's like a beekeeper's helmet.
He also realizes when he's fencing someone,
I swear I could become a beekeeper with the helmet that I have.
He's cool, versatile, very impressive fencer from St. Petersburg.
Let's look at the next bout.
the distance control here.
So another thing with fencing is distance, and when you fight, you look at how far you are from your opponent, and you fight right outside that distance. So the idea is to get your opponent to think that they can strike you, but they can't. And when they do that, they're wide open for you to counterattack. And this is another fundamental technique. This is why I said footwork was so important in fencing. It's because of this one thing. Because if you misjudge the distance and you commit to an attack, you're dead. How hard is it to see of that kind of helmet? It's not really hard. It's a little... Imagine going from 1080p to 720p, Azura. 720p, it's still pretty good, right? I'd say you can see what you need to see, and that's the important part. There's it blocks a bit of your vision when you look down, but most of the time you don't really look down.
Precision of motion is
And here they're going to like wrestle with that distance.
really beautiful to see.
And you can see that this guy in the black is hitting the other guy's sword. He's like hitting the guy's sword to get the other guy to make a reaction, like a counter attack, like sort of pretending that he's going to attack. And this white guy in white doesn't fall for it. So they're just going to keep doing this. Oh, I think that was a miss.
Beautiful to see.
Super fast attack. Okay, so from the video, it looks like he hit, but I think he just missed. Let's slow that down to half speed. Yeah, so he did actually just miss. So he misses. I think he just misses, and the guy in black just deflects it with his dagger. This happens in a split second. This happens in like 0.2 of a second probably. You don't have the time to make these judgments, but if you were expecting his attack, ideally you'd dagger parry and you'd attack back at the exact same time. I love how calm it is. It's so... It's really chill, but it's super tense, Mark. When you have a sword in your hand, the other person has a sword in their hand, and you're both like staring at each other with intent to kill. It's terrifying. It's terrifyingly exciting. It's more like a... if I were to say, it's more like a... It feels like a... It feels like a really fast-paced badminton match or like a table tennis match where you just hit things back and forth really quickly, and it's just about who screws up first, really. The adrenaline junkie Canis.
Lovely thrust by Perkov.
Perkov's looking for the same opening.
No
here.
point.
For the opening between the
So
knife
this
and
means no
the
point.
dagger and the blade.
Right, that's always where you want to be in rapier and dagger. Beautiful unanswered
Oh,
thrust
okay.
by Alexei Perkov.
Yeah.
So
To the
apparently it is a
torso
point. So there are 4
Sergei
judges.
Kotaev.
Each judge gives their
Very
verdict
close
from their
fight so
point of
far.
view.
Look at
So
this
they have
sword.
4, 1 on each side to see like what.
Right, so now we have the end of round. So the pause we had.
It's cauliflower.
All right, nice.
Look at this little bit of a feint, little bit of a beat.
Thrust, but a miss.
Thrust,
Ah,
a feint,
yes.
little bit of a
Do you see this?
beat.
This is the number 1 position. Yeah. The guy in white with the sword high up is doing this thing here. He's using the number 1 guard to attack from over the top. And this is really good when people try to block your attack a lot. When they're trying to look for your sword and hit it out of the way. You can just go to guard number 1. Use when opponent is counter attacking, is good at counter attacking. Yeah, so number 1, use when opponent is good at counter-attacking because you go over their blade and you hit them in the face. And if you're trying to wrestle them with the mind games, the 2, 3, or 4, and they're just better than you at counter-attacking, play a different game. Attack from the top. Violent sport. Wait, I got distracted. 4 men with their Sharingan on. I friggin' love it. they're literally trying to like look at something that's happening in a split second, but it's not always correct. I friggin' love it.
And a parry, I think it was by.
You know what? Let's just enjoy this
Perkov,
amazing
followed by
video.
See here the replay coming in.
You see
Cool
that
save.
coming in on the pass, I think.
Flying in with a thrust parry.
Now, did that thrust land by Perkov?
I don't even know.
So I just
Did
didn't
it
score,
land?
So they did.
Oh, it lands.
Or 1 point. So they saw it land on the leg or the arm.
Come on, crab fight.
So
Crab
downward
fight.
thrust.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think it missed the high line, landed on the low line.
Oh.
Interesting.
What happened?
Didn't catch the blade, double hit.
Yeah, thrust. Oh,
Yeah.
look at the blade.
Bent
the blade
blade.
of Koltev severely bent.
Oh shit.
It's a nice running thrust on the pass by Koltev, and
Yeah, the
and a
blades do
bolt,
bend.
by Perkov.
Our blades bend. My blade
With
is
a thrust and then a
hella
cut.
bent. I think I stab a bit too hard,
Right,
or
so
people
Koltev
run
taking
into my
the
blade
lead
a
now in the
lot.
second round. 10
It's
to
not my
7.
fault. They wanted to die.
One
No,
clean hit
I didn't do
away
anything.
from being
We're about to see history in the making.
a tie.
Hug. What was that?
Thrust by Perkov, closing in. I think maybe it was a dagger by Koltev.
Okay, so this is an example of the distance game that white just wins because black was too unaware of the distance that white could just walk into him, and that's exactly what happened. If you don't do anything after a certain point, if you let your opponent get too close and you don't do anything,
Perkov.
you're just you can't react no matter how fast you are. There's just no time to stop something like this. At this point where his white's rapier could just point forward and go
Maybe
past
it was a
black's dagger.
by Koltev.
Walk in. At this point, it's already over. At this point, black can't do anything. Right here. This point here. This is too close. No human or dog could react to this. So at this point, no, white's already won. And sure enough, you can just walk in, and he's trying to block the dagger, but it's just too late. You can't physically move that fast, right? Hey dragon, we're just studying how to fight with swords now. Welcome. My favorite part is when judges can actually go, really no idea. You know, a lot of the time it happens. Most of the time judges will just say, look, I didn't see shit, and they'll say, oh, no points. But yeah, welcome dragon. I have an idea. I wanted to show you guys this really cool video. It's called Polish Saber Duel. I think it's from the I forgot what this movie was called. I think it's called the Deluge. Yes, the Deluge. Yeah. And the really cool thing about this movie is that it's made like in the 80s or the 90s or something, and these actors fight for real. None of this is acting or like special effects. This is literal fighting, and apparently they had to train a lot for this. Let's just enjoy this really cool video. You offended my mother. How dare you? Draw steel, blackguard. He who objects, say aye. Aye.
Przysięgam na Boga Najwyższego. Święty Krzyż. Święty Krzyż. Amen. Amen.
Amen. So this movie is set in Poland, and there's this runaway criminal who holds up in his hut, trying to run away from military. The men in the clothing are military, and he's apparently wanted for theft. And so he promises this guy, oh, you can win your freedom if you fight me in a one-on-one. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. And this short colonel, I think he's a colonel. He's saying like, oh look, colonel, I don't wanna embarrass you in front of your men. Like we don't have to, like, let's not do this. Let me go, right? And the guy's like, fight. The colonel's like, stand and fight.
Dlatego po raz ostatni mówię ci. Zaniechaj mi. Dawaj.
Dawaj! We use that in Dota a lot with the Russians. Dawaj, dawaj! Rush B!
Może was chcesz poczekać, aż siąpić przestanie? Mnie wszystko jedno. Żal umierać. Taki deszcz. Pułkownika będą chować? To i niebo płacze.
Polish saber! Look at this. This is beautiful. This is amazing. This colonel's stance is like, he's ready to kill. He's literally ready to kill. And this other guy, I don't know what this guard is. It's completely, I think in Polish saber, it's a bit, the system is a little different because the weapon is a bit different. Here's a Polish saber. I'll try and draw it. Here's a Polish saber. Looks like this usually, and then you've got a curved handle, and then you've got like a, usually you've got like a slightly curved blade like this, and this is, there's a reason why these blades are made this way. Polish saber. Cool. You might be thinking like, at this point, why doesn't the colonel just stab him? And the reason for that is there's not enough momentum for a thrust. And if the colonel did walk forward to the left and stab the dude in white, he would probably inflict like a shallow wound, or the man in white would just hit his sword away and kill the colonel instantly. So they're obviously fighting for real. They're not, you can't just go for an opening like that. You need to create an opening. And so he's gonna just circle around him, give him the death glare. I love this. This is called a stop thrust. If there's one thing if there's one thing you guys remember from this stream, it's remember this move. It's called a stop thrust. Imagine you're in an alleyway and some guy with a knife wants to mug you. Obviously you should run. I'm not saying you should ever stand and fight, but if you encounter a situation where you literally can't run and you're literally boxed into the dead end of an alleyway, and the other person's charging at you with a knife or a weapon, this is what you should do. It's called a stop thrust, and you point your weapon forward, and you step back and you make an L shape, like this, with your body. This is a stop thrust, and here's a sword. It's called a stop thrust because it's to stop people from running at you. Stop thrust. Probably the most powerful move you can use against an untrained fencer or an untrained armed person. Usually what people instinctively do is they run at you and they think they think that, you know, somehow that this is good. But if you do the stop thrust posture, they will run into your sword. This is how you deal with we call them suicidal fencers, like fencers who don't care about their own safety. They just want to land that aggressive hit on you first, and you deal with them by doing this like 99% of the time. Which is better, putting your hand at the back or letting it wander? So for rapier, you put your hand at the back, and the reason for that is you get a bit more reach. Let me draw this out. Here's for rapier. For your offhand, if you can do this gesture gives you a bit more reach. and lets you stab a little bit further. More distance. Then say like if you put it here, it sort of throws, this will put you off balance a little bit. So doing it like this is the best way to do it. Yeah, that's for rapier. I'm not really sure how it goes for saber because you don't thrust as much in saber. A lot of this is cutting. Wait, can you even see this? Ah, there we go. Yeah, yeah. Just gonna move this down a bit. Oh shit. Oh shit. I want to play this one again. This is a stop thrust. He's anticipating the white guy will just run up and run up at him close and just like overpower him. So he does this stop thrust to, let's see if I can get this back. Here. This is a stop thrust, right? This is what the colonel is doing on the left. And this is to deal with people who charge at you. And he's expecting that, so he does it. The guy in white says, no, I know you're going to do that, so I'm not going to walk into it. And so here, he's trying to hit the sword away. He's going to hit the sword out of the way, create himself an opening and attack. But the colonel, like, obviously knows that he's going to do this, so he does a disengage. And a disengage is when you move your blade out of the way to stop it from being hit away. Like this. You look really closely. I'm going to play this in half speed. You look really closely at the colonel, the guy on the left's blade. You see how he twirls it in a circle? To hit a blade, you need to deliver a circular motion with the blade, with your blade. To avoid it, you do a circular motion in the same direction. Yeah, so there it is. We do this in rapier and dagger all the time, and you know, it's like the easiest, if you master it, it's the easiest way to win a match. Oh shit, I picked a fight with the wrong guy. Holy shit. By the way, a real spar doesn't last this long. A real spar just ends in like 5 seconds. The Cossacks, Mark, the Cossacks. Disarm! There it is. Ah. Lag! Lag! You noob! I get you next time! And he's like, pick it up. Pick it up. So, there's this really cool thing that happens here. Not here. Here. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, 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 okay. So you see this circular motion with a guy in white. He's trying to dig in, go downwards, and then push the other sword away. With that weird circular downward motion. But this colonel guy's like, he knows what's gonna happen, and he just like catches it and disarms him. Those dudes don't do scabbards, do they? I'm not sure, eh? We're not sure. Are those I'm pretty sure they all have scabbards. Because this guy drew his sword from a scabbard. I'm assuming that they're all using scabbards. Not sure though. Really not sure. By the way, disarms hardly ever happen in fencing because it's just over before, you know, before it actually happens. Oh yes. Oh yes, left-handed. Ah, that's a circular motion. He's like, just finish me off already, spare me the embarrassment. And the colonel was like, okay. A really fast hidden strike with a Sharingan ends the match. And the dramatic music plays. Canis God, why did you throw the match, you noob? GG, 1v1, can't win duels. And yeah, everyone's just casually holding their swords. Yeah, because they all want to kill this guy because this guy like did some really crazy thing in the town, I think, and they all want his ass. So they're all like, no, I'm gonna kill him. And then the colonel's like, and he's like, he's not dead yet. And this guy wants to finish him off. He's like, no, we don't slaughter the wounded. Dress up his wounds and bring him. Yeah, so a lot of shit happening in this one duel. Kind of like, it's the same with this video right here. Ah, there's so many good ones I wanna show you guys, but this is another fine example of good fencing in a movie. This is directed in the 90s, I believe, The Duelists, the 90s. This movie's set in the 1800s, but it was directed in the 1900s, and there's a duel that happens in the farm. Yeah, so there's these two people settling a dispute with small swords, which is like a modern rapier. See how scared this guy is? It's quite accurate actually, because it is that frightening. Graphic warning, yes. Graphic warning, yes. Yes and no. There's a bit of blood, I guess. Make sure you're 15 years or older, or you can turn off the stream if you're under 15. So a lot of what I was just talking about in terms of rapier dagger fencing, it's applicable here. Small swords. Wait, let's see what we can get out. Oh, do you see that? If I slow it down. Boom. This guy doesn't disengage, the guy with the ponytail. He moves his sword out of the way, doing the circular motion here, moves it out of the way, points it back at him, and the guy has to hit it away and move back. So obviously the guy, Mr. Ponytails, is a really skilled fencer. Wow, footwork just goes out the window. When you're literally high on adrenaline, fighting for your life, really. This bald guy is so scared. Maybe that's why he's bald. He's just stressed the whole time. Good God. So this guy and the bald guy is trying to do disengage as well. He's trying to he thinks that this guy, the ponytails guy, is gonna hit his sword away, but the ponytail guy just moves his sword a little bit, and he doesn't. He just panics and does the circular motion anyway, and it spins like a helicopter. You can tell he's really scared, but that's how all people are when they fence. I'd be scared too of the guys. Hair's so much Chad energy. The more braids you have, Mark, the more Chad energy you have. The more willing you are to kill the other guy. It's always the guy with the crazy hair that does the best fencing, eh? Oh, so... Stop thrust. Yes. Remember what I said about the stop thrusts, guys? This is exactly why you should use it. If somebody charges at you like this... Oh, wait, let's talk about what happens here first. So, bald guy tries to catch the blade, tries to catch his hand. Whoops. Tries to catch his... Why is he trying to catch him? So this actually happens sometimes. You can actually catch a blade with your bare hands, and if you do it right, if you time it right, and the opponent's blade isn't moving, you can actually catch and stop someone's blade. But if the blade's moving like it is now, and you grip and try to grip the blade, it just cuts your hand in half. Like this guy gets wrecked. That's a blood I remember. Ah, Mark, you've seen it. You've seen this. And so, hyped on adrenaline, he goes for the charge. Yeah, and when people charge out of desperation, you do the stop thrust, and usually they'll walk into it. By the way, he doesn't die. I'm pretty sure he doesn't die. I think. Cool movie though. Everything down to the posture. Like, you look at their stance, it's got that. It's got that. It's got that weird butt stance, Roman sculpted statue stance. Man, I just can't get over how good the stance is. It's so good. I love how the end is just like the beginning. The bald dude was less careful the second time around. Yeah. Can I also point out there? Look at this guy's butt. Look at this bald guy's butt. Holy crap, that looks toned. Does it not look toned? That legit looks beefy. But I guess Mr. Chad Braids on the right was had the upper hand, if you know what I mean. So the whole point of fencing is there's one of two things you can do. One is counterattack. It's called, one is a setup, and two, which one was the other one? It's just a set. You can set up, or you can disengage, avoid. We'll call it an avoid. So two ways of attacks. So you should only ever attack in fencing when you can do one of two things. Whoops. Chiseled in it, good sire. Yes, me lord, yes. Super chiseled. So setup is when you feint or bait into counterattack. And avoid is to disengage, which is the circular motion. Means avoid blade contact. Strike. Attack. In rapier fencing, this is for rapier, by the way, and also small sword, which is what they're doing here. One of two things: you can only attack when there's an opening. You should never attack when there's no well, there's always an opening, but you should never attack when there's where there isn't an obvious opening. So a setup is when you create an opening. You pretend to attack, like this guy here. I think it was this one. Yeah, here. Let's look at a feint or bait, a setup. So here, it's way too fast. Let's go 25 speed. Here you see Chad Ponytail does this move where he moves his sword really slowly upwards, and it kind of forces the bald guy to move his sword. Like that. Look at that. He moves his sword up a little, and the other guy goes, oh shit, he's gonna attack. And does this crazy move, right? Interestingly, when people are afraid, when people are intimidated, their moves become really predictable. So usually people will do the most intuitive and straightforward action. And in this case, it's spinning your blade in a circle, which becomes very easy to read and exploit. And he panics and runs out of the way. And this guy, Chadman, does the right move, does the attack, because he created the opening, created the counterattack, but unfortunately it wasn't successful, but the idea is right. And disengage. Let's find a disengage. So disengage is when you avoid the other person's blade. The other person's trying to set you up, and you just basically... Is it this one? Nah, I can't really see it. Maybe it was earlier. Ah, there it is. There it is. This is a disengage, guys. This is the second kind of attack. The second kind of timing you need to look for when you do an attack. When somebody goes for an attack or tries to create an opening from you, you move your sword out of the way. It's called a disengage. It's when you spin your sword in a circle to avoid your blade from making contact. And so you still keep that threat there, that attack threat there, even though your blade is not under control, right? So look closely at this guy, the chiseled man. The blade, there. And the blade goes back up. That's a disengage. You avoid your blade from being touched, and so it can stay there. And the other guy usually panics and goes, oh shit, I missed, and they just run away. First instinct is to run away. It's a parry and run away. So that would have been a good time to attack. But like with any fencing tournaments, you know, when you're at the first few bouts, you're kind of feeling out your opponent, kind of feeling out, oh, does this guy have a chiseled butt, or is he more of a disengager, or is he more of a disengager, or is he more of a feinter and baiter? Another pun comes to mind, but I won't lay it down here. And you feel it out, and then you pick a strategy. You look for patterns, and you pick a strategy. And you just roll with it. It's very much rock, paper, scissors, but with less luck, a lot less luck. I think there's like, you can win with luck in HEMA fencing. There's about, you'd probably win like 1 in 20 bouts by pure luck. Simply because you've done the unexpected move by accident. And the other person doesn't expect it or does something else. And you just manage to hit them. So it happens. Like sometimes I win against my instructor, who's like, there's a world ranking. Actually, let's see. Is there a world ranking? Huh. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can find it. Hold up. Nah, actually, screw it. I don't even remember the website anymore. So my instructor has a world ranking. There's like an elo system. If you attend a tournament, they record the elos of all your opponents, and then they adjust it based on how many matches you win and lose. And my instructor was like world ranked 13 or 11 in the world for rapier, men's rapier, and sometimes even I can win against him, and I've only been fencing for a year, right? Purely because I've done the complete idiot move that he didn't expect, and he walks into it, or I managed to just hit him because I'm an idiot. So you can win by pure luck, but you know, if you were fencing for your life, you don't want to rely on a 1 in 20 chance. So yeah, rapier and dagger. I mean, rapier fencing is basically, it's quite straightforward for a lot of Renaissance sort of duels you'll see in movies. And if I were to say if there's a type of fencing that's practical in the modern age, it'd probably be dagger, HEMA dagger sparring. It'd probably be dagger sparring. I've never watched this video before. Let's see if it's useful. Oh, cool. Yeah, as I thought. So dagger sparring has a lot of grappling. You're looking to disarm half the time and to grab their wrists or control their dagger. No, this seems really practical. I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking, wow, this actually seems like you can use it in a modern day. They never expect the thrust of a shaft. Nobody ever expects the fast thrust, the shaft fast thrust the fast shaft thrust, becoming a tongue twister. Oh, cool. So I've done a little bit of dagger sparring. Dagger sparring was common in sort of, I guess, the lower Middle Ages, like closer to 1400s, 1300s, where people in towns and cities sometimes had to defend themselves from muggers and robbers and thieves. So the common thing to have was a dagger, and sometimes you just had to use a dagger when you were being jumped. Usually, obviously, you'd run. Don't fight. Don't fight if you. Don't ever fight if you can avoid. If you can avoid it, okay? Just saying. Disclaimer. So you do that often? Yeah, I thrust my shaft all the time, Mark. It's the name of the game. They see me thrusting. Oh. Holy shit. This is one kind of sparring I want to do. A lot of contact. A lot of contact. I don't like contact. I'm too much of an introvert to like this kind of thing. Oh, wow. They kind of look like two crabs. This must be the prequel to the crab fight game on Steam. Holy shit. Look at that. That's amazing. Yeah, it's literally, I think it actually is who dares wins. If you can take controlled and calculated risks, you probably come out on top. Reverse grip is quite odd, at least in this style. Reverse grip is really good. There's more power in a reverse grip, but also if you have a high stance, like if you keep your blade high up, like this guy is. Like this sort of stance is really good for really fast attacks, really fast, powerful attacks. Because the arm is designed to bend downwards like that really naturally. You're going to get a very quick attack if you hold your dagger like this. Holding it low probably isn't good because you can create distance really easily with your body just by doing the stop thrust I was talking about. But it's really hard to create a lot of substantial distance from above. Unless you're like Neo and you can do like a matrix dodge, it's pretty difficult to completely avoid a downward attack. So for dagger fencing, I guess you keep your dagger high and you just aim to strike downwards. But because everybody's striking downwards, you can predict like this, you can predict where it's gonna be and you can grab or stop it mid thrust. And counterattack. Oh, this is great. I legit want to do this. I'm pretty sure. I think my club has a dagger session. There is a place and time for the standard upright grip. Really situational though. You get a bit more. You definitely get more reach with the upright grip though. Oh, nice. Cool. Ah ha ha. That's gotta hurt. What just happened? Oh. So here's the thing. If you come in really quickly, if you move in really quickly, there's no space to stab anymore. And you just basically walk under the stab. Like, what's happening here? It looks like this guy just got shanked in the head, but the dagger probably missed, and he probably just got fisted to the head. Fisted to the head. But he gets a stab in, at the side. That is neat. Oh my god. Sir, be careful handling my last brain cell. Tonk. You mean blocking like that is alien? Oh. So the theory of dagger fencing in European martial arts is don't focus on blocking, because blocking, you want to be the one attacking, not the one blocking. Because when you block, the person who blocks has to take a chance, has to roll a dice, right? And there's a chance that the block will fail and they'll just die. Or take a really hard hit. So you don't want to be the one to block unless you have like some reason to believe that it's likely going to work. You generally want to be the one to attack. With a dagger, it's so fast that there's hardly any space between these two guys. Like, it's so fast, you can't reliably predict how they're going to attack or when or where they're going to attack. So this is why a lot of modern martial artists say, oh, if you're up against someone with a knife or a dagger, just run, because there's no reliable way to read and fight against people like that. With swords, swords is easier because it's slower, but with knives it's so fast that like sometimes there's literally no time to react and you just can't help but take a hit. So generally you don't play to block. I think HEMA dagger fencing like this is more predicted, because there's only 2 moves: stab from the left or stab from the right, or maybe 4 moves: stab from the left, right, from the side, and from the other side. There's not many things you can do, right? So it becomes really easy to block one of the 4 directions and just hope that they'll get blocked. They both anticipate a grab, and they both miss a grab, and the other guy goes for the stab. Ah, nice. Cool. Oh wow, that was actually a disengage. I never thought I'd see a disengage in dagger sparring. Imagine fighting someone like this on the streets. Like, they just have a wooden stick, and they're poking holes in you with a wooden stick. Faced with a silent, if faced with an assailant with a knife, pull out your gun and shoot. You know what I see? Just gotta, if you hear the, you just gotta pull out your, and, could you hear that? Does this actually pick up? Holy crap, I think it does. It's just a prop, guys. A nice dry fire. That is scary. I see. Mark, you gotta know that these aren't real guns. It's not a real gun. It's a prop gun. So it doesn't fire live ammunition. If it does, I would never discharge it in the house. But you guys want to hear something cool? Oh, Zero's alive. All right, you ready for this? Okay. Wait. Wait. I don't want to do this. It's 4 a.m. Wait for it. How do I do this? Okay. That was really freaking loud though. So yeah, I have like some collectibles. They're legal. They're legal, by the way. I have some collectibles. They don't actually fire anything, so I'm safe. But 4 a.m. popping these things off at 4 a.m. Not the greatest idea. Do I have my airsoft with me? I can't say I do. I sold everything in Japan. So I used to play a lot of airsoft in Japan, and I spent like so much on airsoft. I collected all these different guns, especially I bought a German World War II Luger, a POA Luger. I also bought an MP40 submachine gun, and I also bought a Sturmgewehr 40 Stig 44, right? One of those is the world's first assault rifle, but it was all steel, you know, and it just shot 6 mil BBs, and man, it was great. It was amazing. Yeah, you can't bring it back with you to Australia. It's you'll get caught at customs and they'll put you in jail. So yeah, let's finish the rest of this video and then call it. Really into those German arms. Yeah, Mark, I'm super into World War II history as well. Not only medieval Middle Age history, I also really like World War II history. So I've been a fan of German weapons for a while. You know what weapon I'm not a fan of? I'm not a fan of Japanese weapons. Guns in Australia. Yeah, no. I've been to a firing range a couple of times in Australia. I did a pistol course which had which shot like those really small caliber .22 LRs. They also let me shoot a revolver and like a 9mm. I wouldn't be surprised if Caddis pulled out a Browning. Oh my god, Mark, I had a POA Luger, which is a German World War II officer's handgun, and I also had a Mauser C95, or was it C96? C95. It's the box pistol. I had one of those as well. They were all gas as well. Super cool. Yeah, the .22 LRs, they're tiny. So yeah, I had a couple of interesting stuff back back in Japan. I ran my first gun was a 1911. Yeah, it was a golden 1911. That was apparently a collector's item, and I didn't know. And I was using it at the fields and wearing it down, and probably the value probably halved by the time I was finished with it. Yeah, the 1911 was beautiful. It didn't work very well. I mean, I got a few kills with it, yeah, but it wasn't that reliable. Next, you'll say you'd had an MG42. No, but there was an MG42 at my local field. Some guy ran a full-sized MG42. Shit is massive. This thing is like 1.5 meters long. Oh, good God. What a shot. If you enjoy it, please like, share, and subscribe. Won 2 world wars, baby. Honestly, the 1911 is probably my one of the most iconic handguns that I'm happy to use. The handgun I used a lot later on was the M93R. It's the Raffica model of the Beretta. So it's a pistol, but it has a 3 burst and a full auto function. This thing was nuts. Good God. I had like extended magazines and I was just shooting the thing like a machine gun, but it was a pistol. Yeah. Anyway, it's getting really late. I should end the stream soon, but before I do, here is a picture of I'm going to try and draw you guys a gun. I'm going to try and draw you guys a gun as well as I can. So I'm waiting for the time airsoft becomes illegal in Australia. Currently, it is hella illegal, right? There's no legitimate reason to own one, unfortunately, and that means you can't import it because it's not recognized as, something that has a use. It's just a threat to society. I don't get it either. You can't do airsoft. No, airsoft is unfortunately illegal, Azura. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Airsoft is not illegal here, and Candace, come to Indonesia, airsoft with me. I would airsoft with you. I would totally airsoft with you. Where was the I think there's a safety switch here. Azira, look, I would come to Indonesia and airsoft with you for sure. And Mark, I don't know where you're located, but if it's not Australia, it probably means airsoft is legal there. If it's not Australia or North Korea or Chile, it means airsoft is probably legal in your area. Isn't it crazy that airsoft is only illegal in a handful of countries and they're all third world countries, except for one. That's right, Australia, right? I can't believe it. So Australia is one of the is the only first world country that has illegalized airsoft, unfortunately. And I'm kind of sad about that. All I want to do is collect guns. I don't want to rob my local petrol store. Apparently I do, according to the media and the politicians. If I have an airsoft gun, my only intent is to rob people and kill people. Join us in the sea. Oh, yeah. Well, Japan is where airsoft originated from, right? So I'd say like Southeast Asia has probably the best market for airsoft, and there's all these crazy collectibles there. I'm jealous of all you guys, I want one of these. I want one of these. Can you guess the gun? 20 points to whoever can guess what this gun is. Am I missing anything here? There's a mag release. There's the safety. Here's the second safety. Market, you can grab a real gun for less than $140. Oh my god. I was reading an article about this the other day. How my friend from the US said we were looking at it is a chunky 1911. The slide is a bit wide. Yeah, I didn't have a reference. So my friend and I were looking at some airsoft guns, and he really likes 416s, right? Whoops. He really likes 416s. Thing is, 416 full steel 416 gas models, because we only buy those gas blowback airsoft guns. They're like what, $400 plus, and the one we were looking at was $600. And he was like, man, getting a real 416, like a civilian 416, is cheaper or the same price. And I looked it up, and sure enough, it was also like, $400, $500, $600. I couldn't believe it. Like, all these video games taught me that guns were several $1,000s. If you play Counter-Strike, like, how much is an M4? $2,900. How much is an M4 now, or an AR-15? Probably a couple $100s, right? I used to be so into 1911s that I knew the names for all the barrels and grip lints. Oh my god, Mark. I really like... There was this one 1911 I was really into. It's called the Cup. I think it's called the Cup series, the 1911 Cup series, and it had a really nice grip. And something about it was different, I forgot, but it looked really, really nice. It's one of those silver 1911s. Ah, chef's kiss. Raw. But yeah, I'm gonna try and draw the other Mauser that I had. It kind of looked like, my other pistol kind of looked like this, I guess. Kind of chunky, but I'm trying to remember what it looked like. Kind of like this. And we've got, whoops. We've got the chamber, whoops. Got the chamber here, and it connects with the trigger. Just like that. And then we've got this weird shape here. Going off by memory here, guys. Bear with me. You've got the sight adjustment here, I think. I'm pretty sure it was here. Something like that. And then there's this weird bolt here, I think. And the hammer. Oh my god, did I do it? Is this it? Holy shit, that looks legit. I'm so proud of this. I am so proud of this. Look at that. Look at that. I am so proud of this thing. There's one more thing in here that I'm missing though. I think it's this thing. I think. Was there something here? I swear there was a safety. I forgot where the safety was. I think there was a switch down here for the safety. I can't remember. Yeah. The Mauser I got had a magazine, so you could. It's one of the weird Norinco Chinese aftermarket like copycat Mausers, unfortunately, but it was still cool. You could get the magazine, and it had the stock as well. So I was playing with a stock, and this thing was also a long barrel thing, so it kind of looked like this, I guess. Legit, and it had a foregrip attached to it as well. Yeah, thing was busted. This was my setup. I was running one of these for airsoft. Learning how to gunfight stream when I say, there's not much. There's not much to learning how to gunfight. Learning how to play airsoft might be different, but airsoft is redefining broom handle. Airsoft is yeah, the skill in airsoft, but a lot of it is just gee, I don't know. There's definitely skill in airsoft. I remember when I was playing airsoft in the teams are random, right? And there was this one day I usually like to play submachine guns or 5 fire rate airsoft guns at the front lines. I usually play that role. And then one day I remember there was this match that was really hard. Like nobody could move and my whole team was getting killed and we were getting pushed all the way back to our spawn point. And then there it was. I was at the front line and I locked eyes with this group of old men, this 4-man squad of old men. I could see like their white hair and their like, you know, dad bods and their beer bellies, and they were kind of fat, but they were freaking nuts. They had the perfect coordination. Like they were surrounding and covering areas so fast. There's four players and on a field, on like a mini field of small buildings. They were so accurate. We were 30, 40 meters away, and most airsoft guns in Japan shoot to 35, 40, maybe 45 if you're really lucky. And these guys were nailing, like hitting really close to where I was hiding at 45, 40 meters. And I would just pop out and it's like right next to my freaking head. And, you know, I try to shoot back and my accuracy is not bad, but they're too far. I can't really hit them, and they're moving at me so fast, and we get run over. I get shot by some other dude, and these old men just capture the flag. And Jesus Christ, it was terrifying. they weren't in the war. They weren't that old. They were like middle aged. I think probably like 45 to 50. They moved like a squad. This is like Apex, but in Apex ranked, but in Japanese airsoft. If it wasn't for COVID, I would have had the chance to fire an M60. Oh, like one of the machine guns. The M60s. You say M60, I'm thinking M600 Spitfire. The one in Apex. So yeah, these old men were all running like it was nothing special. They were wearing, you know, standard like US style like military gear, webbings and magazine pouches, blah blah blah. And they were all using M4s. So you know the weird thing about airsoft in Japan is that everybody runs an M4. Everybody loves the electronic plastic M4s, and I can't stand that. I like realism. I love realism, so I can't stand holding a plastic gun. It's got to be gas and it's got to be metal. Apex addicts. Australia should really allow its population's guns. They're harmless. They can't even kill a bunch of emus. We had machine guns. We had like Lewis machine guns, Mark, and we couldn't kill emus. God damn it. I remember there was this one story about a squadron firing, like trying to kill a bunch of emus with a goddamn machine gun, and they just couldn't kill like more than a couple. And they fired like hundreds of rounds for some reason. I don't know how that works. Yeah. One of my favorite guns was one of these. I'll try and draw them. It's a bit difficult. So I have this one gun that I used a lot. I think it's kind of like this. It's really fat and chunky. Kind of like this. With a backseat. And then it's got this thing here where you've got a lever. Right? And a huge magazine trigger guard. Like this big, right? And then you've got the mag release. Pretty sure the mag release is here. No, that's for the 1911. Oh god, I can't remember. I'm gonna say it's here. I don't remember. It got like a hella fat body. It was chunky, like this, right? Oh my god, I think I drew it wrong. I'm pretty sure I drew it wrong. But yeah, it was something like this. I don't remember. It's an M. It's supposed to be an M93R. I read one of these. These were my favorites. Like, oh, you wouldn't believe how accurate this thing was. Emus are built for shield trigger guard for when you shoot with your toes. Yeah, so when I put my toes here, my toes would lock in like this. Here's my toenail. Here's my other toes. Is this what you're talking about, Mark? This is what you're talking about, right? Oh my god, this is cursed. What have I done? Cursed icing. Holy shit. Exactly, right? And your other toe would be like this. Here's your toenail. Toe 1, toe 2, pinky toe. Those gifted with the power of art must know their limits. How do you even draw this? I don't even know, dude. This is how you... This is how... Oh my god. Perfect for the handstand army. So this is what I imagine a handstand army to be like. They'd be doing this, you know, just standing on their arms like this. Like this. And then, wouldn't you know? Oh my god. Holy shit. What is going on? Okay, we've got to cut the stream after this, guys. This is crazy. This is not part of the script. What gun should I? What gun should I draw? What else did I use? I used an MP40, so let's draw an MP40. Here's an MP40. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, the thing's on the other side, but there's a charging handle up here. I think it's on the left side. Oh, it might have been on the right side. I don't remember. I think it's on the right side. I don't remember. But all I remember was that there's not much to the design other than this, right? And there's a big button here to release the mag. Oh my god. What am I doing? Suddenly hand stuff. What happened is, what happened? Ask Icing what happened. No, ask Mark what happened. So Mark is a gun expert here, and he's like huge trigger guard for when you shoot with your toes. And I was like, hey, you know what? You might be right. What if that was what if that were the case, hey? What then? What are you gonna do? Look at that. Look at that. Work of bloody art, I tell ya. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Wowee. Man, tell me this drawing is not good. This drawing is really good. Confuse the people on Twitter. If you enjoy it, please like, share, and subscribe. This is how we roll at the Circus Academy. Bunch of clowns, I tell ya. Bunch of clowns. There was this meme about the Joker clown, the Batman Joker clown, educating the It clown, the balloon clown, and the sewer clown. And let me show you what we do at work when I have no idea what to do at work. Two clowns. This is how I feel right now. I have no idea what's going on. All right, well, it's 4:10 a.m. I didn't expect the stream to go this long. I'm trying to keep streams a bit shorter this week, and probably there will be no streams next week because I'm trying to complete Canis Man, my next model, as fast as I can. Yesterday, I realized I've piled on 60 layers. I've drawn 60 layers in 3 weeks, and that's about half of the layer. I think that's about half of the layers I need to get. No, it's a little more than half. I think I'm probably going to end up at about 100 layers total, but half of them are color layers, so it'll halve down to 50 movable layers in Live 2D. And onion. Onion. What's in the onion? And yeah, so there's going to be a lot of time that I need to spend. I'm going to need to spend a lot of time to get my Canis Man model down. It's kind of terrifying, Canis Man compared to Canis Dog. But I'm sure he'll grow on you guys. Anyway, thanks for coming to the stream, guys. If you have any questions on fencing, on guns, or whatever you want to know, shoot me a DM. I'm happy to hear it. If you have any feedback for my streams, any future content ideas, let me know. And know how to shoot with your feet is not going to be one of them. That's for someone else to do. I can't do this. I'm a dog. So yeah, thanks for coming along, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. I sing Mark Azura. Thanks for coming along. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Row 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 row.